Why, hello, welcome back to The Rosey Life. Welcome for another unedited video. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for being a part of the exponential growth we're having at The Rosey Life. I love you guys all so much. And today I want to talk about something that you guys have heard about already. And because remember, nothing that I say on this channel is new. Nothing that anyone on any's channel is new. It's literally all the same regurgitated information, whether it comes from law of attraction, law of assumption, from the Bible, from any scripture, any book, from Neville, from Joseph Murphy, from Abraham Hicks, Bashar, everybody, all of them. We're all talking about the same thing from another perspective, from another point of view, and from my unique personality, from my unique point of view as source. And that's what everyone else is doing. That's what you are all doing. You're all seeing and experiencing your life as that unique perspective from that great I am, that we all are all one with, but we all have these unique little personalities, which is why sometimes you may find yourself resonating with one teacher or a different teacher or a book or over another book. It's not that one is better. It's that the way that you're hearing it, the word choices or the analogies or the examples, the way that it's being said resonates with you. And always go with that, because that's what's speaking to you. And if you're being like kind of shuffled around inside, like something you feel like, wait, something that was just said caught my attention, right? That's how you know you're like, okay, it's speaking to the truth in me, which is the one and only truth in all of us. But just for some people, they may hear it better from one teacher or another, or they may hear it better from one meditation or another. It doesn't matter. Like Bashar always says that we manifest permission slips, right? We manifest permission slips. Well, guess what? All the YouTube coaches are permission slips. We're all permission slips. And books, everything, techniques, everything that you encounter, you are actually manifesting these things as permission slips for you to remember who you are, for you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. That's all we're doing. We're just becoming more aware of who we already are. So that's what I wanted to share that with you, because I know a lot of new clients that come to me, they tell me they feel a little overwhelmed, and then the first thing that they want to do is complain about another coach or teacher. And I said, that just didn't work for you. And if you feel like it's challenging, or it's just not doing it for you, like whether, I'm not talking about results, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about, are you becoming more aware of who you are as the one and only creator of your reality? Because that's all that matters, is that you are aware that you are the one and only creator in your world, in your reality, and no one else's, only you. And that's what we're doing here on The Rosey Life, is we're becoming more aware of all that we are. And I also like to remind people, when I say that I am all that is, that you are all that is, that when you become more aware of who you are, that doesn't include just puppies and unicorns and kittens and the stuff that you want. You become more aware of all that you are, all those different versions of you, the ones that you like, the ones that you don't like, the things that you label as wanted and unwanted, all those different versions of you. You become aware of them, not to do something with them, but you do become more aware of all facets of you. And that is a wonderful thing, because that gives you more to choose from. You becoming more aware of who you are is just, you're seeing that you have more options, more ways of looking at things. You have more potential. And that's what and that will never stop. You're infinite, and you'll just continue to become more aware of who you are, because if there was a cap on it, like, oh, you've arrived, you got it, you nailed it, right? that would make you infinite, because the moment you think that, oh my God, this is so wonderful, there's more wonderful behind that, and more wonderful and more wonderful. And it keeps going for infinity, because we are eternal. We're all eternal being. That's who we are. We're the one eternal source within us all, experiencing as a unique, all these unique perspectives, unique personalities, right? That we call Rose, or all the different names. Okay. So, I wanted to start off with that. But the other thing I wanted to share with you was what you guys have heard me many times. Maybe I just literally pulled a feather out of my, you're pokey. Anyway, back to the video. Okay. So I distract myself. Anyway, what I wanted to share with you is, many of you heard this, right? Bashar talks about it. Law of attraction teachers talk about this. So many people talk, even scripture talks about it, that whatever you put out is what you receive. And they talk about this energetically, right? With vibration, energy, like whatever energy you're emitting, right? That's the signal you're sending, like a bat signal. And that is what you're going to receive. That's what's reflecting back. So you cast out your energy, and that's reflected back to you. That's one way of putting it. So whatever you put out energetically is what you come back to. And also the verse that I wanted to share with you in scripture is Galatians 6:7. And it says, whatever a man sows, so shall he reap. God will not be mocked. Whatever you ask, you will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. And that's the part that I wanted to talk about today, is that yes, whatever you sow, in other words, whatever you plant in the garden of your mind, whatever you declare, whatever you say you are, whatever you say the world is like, whatever you say people are like, whatever you go around labeling people. And I want to bring this in too, because a lot of people talk, you guys know that I'm a former psychologist. So I did a lot of therapy for many, many years. And I taught this stuff too. And people love to use words like toxic people. Stay away from toxic people because they drain your energy. Or the other one they like to use, bipolar. Or they like to say that someone's a narcissist. Like, what do you do with a narcissist? You know, spouse or work person, and you're at your job or something like that. And remember, whatever you sow, you will reap. God will not be mocked. And what is that saying is, whatever you are walking around assuming exists is true for you in your reality, you will reap from that. In other words, you will experience that, because God will not be mocked. God will not be mocked. If you look up the definition of mocked, it says made a fool of. So you're not going to be made a fool of, because you and God are one. And whatever you declare, whatever you walk around labeling and pointing things at, including yourself, and judging things, that you will not be left a fool, because whatever you declare is the law. So if you're labeling people as toxic or as narcissists, it's like, I get it. Those things actually are real experiences. And I used to diagnose people with different diagnoses. Personally, in the over 12 years of performing therapy with thousands of different clients, I actually never diagnosed anyone with narcissism, because even then, I have shared here that I practiced from something called choice theory reality therapy. And choice theory put the person back in charge and power of deciding how they wanted to feel based off of what they were thinking and or doing. And when somebody would come and tell me that they thought they were a narcissist, or they were accused of being a narcissist, for example, right? Really, the underlying of that was always that that person had a very deep sense of lack of worthiness. And even then, without knowing about the law and who I am, right, back then, and to this extent that I do today, right, even then I knew it was a lack of worthiness. And it's portrayed as like in like A Course in Miracles. I love this so much. They say that everything is either a cry for love, in other words, to be loved, to understand love, to receive love, right? A cry for love, right? Or an expression of love. So everything, they're saying everything that we say, do, all beings, either is motivated to express love, to either through ourselves, through our work, through what we do, through what we want, or for others, or it's a cry for love, a cry to understand self. So when someone has a cry for love, what there is that they believe that they are so unworthy that they behave a certain way in an attempt to get what they don't know how to give themselves. Do you see? So if you think about every single one of us on some degree has been there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be actually like remembering and trying to learn the law, because people have not either accepted that they are worthy or that they are loved on some degree, right? And there's others that have a very deep desire to be loved and never experienced it before, and they are seeking it. How they are seeking it is in a way that many will judge, but nevertheless, it's still a cry for love, because there's not one single being on this earth that is not crying for love or expressing love in some way. So understanding that with a great deal of empathy, right, is understanding that. And it doesn't mean you have to tolerate anything like that, but you can have a spiritual understanding of what is happening with anybody at any moment when you see it that way. And it's not to feel sorry for people, but it's in that moment when you recognize that, is to see it and understand it. So, but let me get back. I got a little off track there, but I wanted to address that because it's such, there's all these diagnoses and there's so many more, right? But they're all in that category. They're real experiences. I'm not denying that. And I'm not denying that these are real experiences, but what I am saying is that they're misunderstood. Even in the psychology community, when I was a therapist, I did not like how many people were misdiagnosed. And when I worked with those people, those many clients that I worked with, right, I helped them in a different way that they didn't see was possible. And by recognizing who they are and giving themselves those things that they were seeking outside of them. You guys see, it's no different than what I teach here on the Rosey Life, and what many teachers teach is, do not go seeking, like Neville says, do not go seeking for that which you already are. In other words, stop looking for it in another, right? Because you already it. And that's the key, is that you already everything. You're already all of the it's. So back to what I was saying about what you sow, so shall you reap. So if you go around labeling people, it doesn't matter how real how you think. If every time you speak of it, I want you guys to know, every time you comment under a video, there's nothing wrong with questions, okay? But every time you comment, every time you complain about it, you are double downing and keeping that story alive and true, and then making it even more deeper for you to experience whatever it is. It's not about pretending. It's about realizing that if you keep repeating the same story, God will not be mocked. In other words, you will not be left a fool hanging the bag of saying, I'm rich, but yet you're walking around saying how much you're struggling and how you're a single mom or single dad, or that you don't have any money, or that it's hard and that everything's hard and then it's hard and it's hard again, and you're affirming, but it's still hard. God will not be mocked. Not with any of that. So you can say that you're affirming and assuming that you are that person you desire to be, but remember, you will not be made a fool of and be shown anything that you first haven't accepted is true for you. Flat out. You have to accept that it's already true for you. But if you walk around saying all the affirmations and techniques, and there's nothing wrong with those, remember, like I said before, like Bashar talks about all of them as permission slips to help you become more aware of all that you are, but they're permission slips still with the understanding and acceptance that I am everything, that I am the source of everything. You will not be mocked when you decide and declare yourself to be whoever it is that you are. You're not going to be made a fool of. But if you're over here affirming or imagining and scripting and then complaining, whether it's on this channel or another channel or with your friends or on a Snapchat post that you made, or you saw somebody complaining about money and say, yeah, I know it's hard right now. You think that it's separate for you to complain somewhere else with your friends or in your mind in the shower or when you're lying in bed? You think that that's not that those things don't count? It all counts because it's all you. It's all you. So it's clear when you are the person that you say you are, you declare yourself to be that person now. But remember too, that when you, like, if you saw my last video that I wrote on parallel realities, right? If this person says that they are wealthy and this one says that they are poor, these two versions have completely different paths. So trying to say that you're wealthy, but you're staring at the face of this one and complaining and whining about how hard it is and that your whole life has been difficult, you're not this person. You're still this one. Because these two people have completely different past. They're not the same. So if you're truly this one, you know that you have had a completely different outlook on money, that you've never struggled with it, that you've always had an abundance of money, that money flows to you. It flows to me constantly, that I can count on it. And money sees you differently. Money sees me and it loves me. Money loves coming to me. It always has. It always comes find me and brings all its little friends. I gladly give it because I know it comes to me with all its little buddies. It brings more buddies every time. And it's always been this way. In my future, it's going to be the same. It's going to get even better. Do you see how this is a different person than this one? This person who's struggling, trying to affirm that they're different, trying to affirm wealth, they're still holding on to their whole backstory, still identifying as that broke person, still identifying as a struggling person, still identifying that they're not getting what they want, that it's not working, that they've been affirming for X amount of time and it doesn't. These are two different identities, and I'm just talking about that one as an example. But you can plug and play health, SP, all of it. You can plug and play, same thing. Doesn't matter. The topic doesn't matter. The answer is the same. I am. There's only one answer, and that is you are the answer. That's the only answer. I don't care what the conditions are, how long it's been, what has happened, what was said, what was done. It's the same answer. I am the answer. I am the way. It's the one answer. There's not a ton of answers out there. It's you are the answer. Whoever you say you are, that's the answer. Which one are you? It's that simple. So remember, and whatever you walk around saying all day long about everything, especially about the things that you want, God will not be mocked. you're not going to be made a fool of. So if you're over here saying you're wealthy, but you're really still identifying with this, guess what? You're not going to be mocked, so you're going to experience this, the one that's broke, no matter how much you affirm, because you still see yourself as this. That's God will not be mocked. Whatever you sow, so shall you reap. You think you're sowing over here, but you're still seeing yourself as here. It's either or. You have a million opportunities throughout the day that come and that arise to you that you don't even know. You're probably not even aware of half the time, and it's not necessary to catch everything. But you have so many opportunities to remind yourself of who you are, of which one you choose. And you'll see them more and more, and you're just like, no, I know who I am. And before you know it, this is who you become. This is the one you start seeing yourself as and you think as. But if you sit up here saying, I'm saying this, and you're hoping and waiting and praying. I just did a live Q&A last night, and we talked about waiting and being patient. And I told them, I said, if you are waiting, if you are saying that you need to be patient for your turn, you're just waiting. That's it. You saying you're patient and hopefully it'll happen soon. It's like, who are you waiting for? Who are you being patient for? Who are you being patient with? What are you being patient with? Because no one's requiring you to be patient. No one's asking you to sit down and take a number. It's just you. No one's asking you to be patient. So if you find yourself feeling like you just need to be patient for your turn, for your number, ding, ding, we got number 20,439. It's your turn. It's your manifestation. It's your turn now. That's not happening. That is not real. One of the people in the live Q&A membership said, when we were talking about this, she said, "Oh shit, it reminds me of being like at a butcher shop, where you take a number and you wait for your number to be called." And I said, yeah. I said, and all those people that are standing around waiting for you, I said, you manifested them. You put them there because they're not waiting. I said, you put them there so that you cannot feel bad about waiting. You're like, well, I guess I'm not the only one. I guess all these other people here on this channel or in other channels or in the Facebook groups, which I don't have, by the way, I don't think that they're all that helpful, honestly. I think the Facebook groups, I used to have one a while ago and I took it down because I noticed that it just put people down rabbit holes that they don't need to go. But anyway, back to what I was saying is, if you put those people around you in the waiting room with you, you put them there because they're not there. They're just there to keep you company while you wait and be patient. But my question is, how long? For how long? Because only you can decide for how long. Whatever you reap, you will sow. If you think you need to be patient, you will not be made a fool of. And you will be provided all the resources and people and the cheese and crackers to keep you company so that you can continue to be patient. But for how long? Because remember, only you can decide. Only you can decide. No one else is deciding for you. How long, and what I mean by how long, I don't mean in 3D linear time. I mean how long is you understanding that there is only now. There's only here and now. It's all here and now. If it's not happening now, when is it? When is it going to happen? Where is it going to happen? If it's not here and now, where is it going to happen? And when is it going to happen? Because it's only here and now. It's all here and now. So remember, you reap, you sow, and you will not be made a fool of, because God will not be mocked. Whatever you put out, you receive. You think you're going to put out lack with a cute bow of affirmations, and then you think it's going to come back to you with all that money or your SP or whatever you're manifesting, whatever it is that you want. You think, no, the bow's going to be like, we don't know what happened to the bow, but here's what you put out. And that's how I feel. A lot of you are doing that. You guys are putting it out with a little bow that says nice affirmations, and then you expect the bow to come back, forgetting that what you put out had nothing to do with that little pretty bow you put on top of it. Do you see? It's who you're being. who you're identifying as. It's not what you're saying. It's not what you're doing. It's who you are identifying as. That's being. All right, my loves. I intend that this is so helpful for all of you. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for liking the video, and thank you for subscribing. And I will see you all soon. All right, bye.